Ladies and gentlemen, Molly Garrels.
Good morning, RFMA, and thank you for having me. As mentioned, my name is Molly. I'm the Director of National Accounts at Duralast, and we're a commercial roofing manufacturer. I'm excited to be here today with you to discuss what I think is a very important topic, how to protect your roofing systems from two big, unpredictable forces of nature, hail and high wind events. Over the last several years, we've seen a notable increase in both the severity and occurrences in hailstorms, hurricanes, and other extreme weather events. Your company's top priority is ensuring the safety of all of your employees during that. But second is managing damage to the building. How badly was your building hit? Do you have power? Can you open? And if not, how quickly can you reopen? And what needs to be done to make that happen? During most major storm events, your roofing system will play a critical role in keeping your building safe and operating. It needs to defend against hail, keep your restaurant dry during heavy rains, and remain intact in the face of high winds. To ensure your roof performs as it should, it's crucial to have the right preparation and the right roofing assembly in place. Today, we're going to break this presentation down into two parts. I'll start by talking about preparing for a hurricane or other high wind event, and wrap up by talking about protecting your building from hail. And I'll be focusing on the big three single-ply roofing systems, PVC, TPO, and EPDM. So let's start with high wind events, and we're talking about how to ensure you're getting the best assembly for a high wind zone. When it's time to re-roof your building, work with a contractor and your manufacturer and ask them to do a wind calculation. This will show what assembly and fastening pattern is best based on the height and geographical location of your building. A restaurant in Miami-Dade, for example, will have a very different installation need than a roof in Las Vegas. These calculations will ensure you have the best chance of your roof staying on during these events. Additionally, I recommend making sure you're using an ES1 compliant edge metal. ES1 stands for Edge Systems 1 and is a test through ANSI SPRI, which is the American National Standards Institute for Single-Ply Roofing. It's a process that proves that manufacturers can provide a consistent system that will stay on during a windstorm. And ANSI also has a similar program for gutters, and you want your gutters to be GT1 compliant. It's a friendly reminder that during a high wind event, your roof can fail at the perimeter. It's very important to make sure that you have the right metal on your building. But beyond the assembly itself, preventative maintenance is the key to ensuring your roof holds up during a windstorm. I suggest performing regular roof inspections at the start of storm season and before any major storm. During these inspections, check for loose debris on the roof, ensure that all AC unit doors are properly sealed, and confirm that there are no condensate lines or other objects that could cause damage. Be sure to clear any clogged drains or scuppers as well. You'll also want to assess the surrounding environment of your building. Are there nearby trees with branches that could fall and damage your roof? High winds can send debris flying, so make sure you've considered everything in the area that could pose a risk to your roof's integrity. It's also a great idea to utilize a rooftop inspection log. Keep photos and records of your roof so that you can pinpoint when damages may have occurred. For these inspections, you can train your team members to go on the roof and look for these things. But if they don't have the safety training, or if you don't have the staff capacity, I recommend partnering with a professional contractor like many of the groups that are part of RFMA. Many of programs will have them servicing your roof before and after a storm to ensure that you limit the damage and can open and stay open. And now, on to hail. When it comes to hail, preventative maintenance really won't be much help. It's all in your assembly. Behind me is the Factory Mutual Insurance Hail Zone map. It shows moderate hail zones in gray, severe hail zones in black, and very severe hail zones in red. If you have a restaurant in the red zone, odds are you may have dealt with hail damage over the last few years. The very severe hail zone has records of hail greater than 2 inches in diameter that recently hit. When you're building a roofing assembly for re-roofing, you should consider using this map to build your roofing assembly. This will ensure that you have the best system for the geographical region that you're in when it comes to hail. In very severe hail zones, for the most part, Factory Mutual Insurance requires a fully adhered system with a thicker membrane and a cover board. Hail damage can occur anywhere on the roof, but you'll typically see it most often where the hail will hit the plate. This can cause cracking and damage within any single-ply roofing system. A fully adhered system will limit the damage since there are no plates to hit. While I consider the best system, it can be pricey. A step down, but still a great system, would be to mechanically fasten down all of the insulation, then adhere coverboard down and adhere the membrane on top of that. But to save even more money, you can mechanically fasten the entire system, but again, we recommend a coverboard and a thicker membrane. This should also be considered during the winter months when it gets too cold for an adhered assembly. During the colder months, the adhesive may not be able to properly cure. But if you leave with anything from this presentation, it should be that in a high hail zone, use a coverboard. It's not roof related, but I also recommend working with your rooftop unit vendors to look at hail protection. Many HVAC companies offer hail guard systems for units to keep them safe from hail damage. After a hailstorm, walk the roof once and then again in a couple months. Hail impact fractures can take time to appear on the roof, but over time they can become a major problem. While the roofing system may take time to show hail damage, any metal units on your roof should show damage immediately. Make sure to look at your RTUs and edge metal systems for indication of hail damage. The earlier you catch it, the more likely you are to catch the need for replacement or repair before your insulation gets wet. Wet insulation leads to having to tear off the entire roof system rather than just replacing the top layer, and that can be twice as expensive. Catching hail damage early can save you tens of thousands of dollars. Again, you can have your team members do these checks or work with a roofing contractor. Many service providers use programs to track major hailstorms and can work with you to let you know when hailstorms have hit. In an emergency situation after a hailstorm, temporary repairs can be difficult because of the amount of impact fractures. Many contractors choose to utilize a coating on a roof after a hailstorm. This is typically a temporary repair rather than a permanent solution, designed to protect your roof for a few months to a year until a full re-roof can be done, but it can buy you time. In conclusion, the key to protecting your roofing system from both high winds and hail is preparation, regular maintenance, and choosing the right roofing system for your building's needs. By taking these steps, you can ensure that your roof will not only protect your building during extreme weather events, but also help you get back to business as quickly as possible after the storm passes. Thank you for having me today.
Ladies and gentlemen,